What's up, y'all? It's Dane Reál, the multidimensional Mami, and I am here making my first of what I hope to be many YouTube videos. So here I am. I wanted to come on here today and talk to y'all about what's going on with my social media accounts. I would say Meta as an umbrella is hating, they're hating, they're censoring. It's been a whirlwind. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it, to share kind of what is going on, what I've been going through, and all the amazing things that I've learned. So I actually have 3 things that I want to share with you at the end of this video. Basically just 3 things that I'm grateful for through this process. And I'm hoping that if you watch all the way through, that maybe you will take a couple of tidbits of info to protect yourself from this situation happening to you. I can't promise you it won't, but I can give you some tips for ways to, hopefully make sure that it's a little less painful if it ever does happen. I want to start by saying this could happen to anyone, okay? When my Instagram first went missing, the first thing I did was tell a couple of friends who kind of shared with others that this was happening. I just basically said like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, can you help me just like put a report through to Instagram? Because I've heard through other friends who have been suspended or whose accounts have been deleted that that's the best thing to do when this happens, to kind of gain the support of your following, your audience, to kind of vouch for you and say like, this person's not a threat, like please reconsider. Let me start with just explaining a little bit about what it brought up for me, this whole situation. First and foremost, like, this is not the end of the world, okay? But in the moment, it felt like I'm ruined, all the work I've done, all the content that I've devoted to this platform that I don't even have access to anymore. It feels like the end of the world, but I quickly picked myself up from the floor in that mindset and told myself like, is it, like, as much as I enjoy connecting with people on the platform, it does seem very inauthentic, which is so contrary to my philosophy on embodiment work. Like, it's important to me to be myself, or I don't want it. I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be part of things that I can't show up as myself. And with what happens with these algorithms and bots and technology and social media, all this shit, like, they are not really paying attention. They just have all these algorithms to catch things, And so it's likely that sometimes a well-meaning person could use a certain hashtag or post a certain image and it get flagged as either pornography or nudity or excuse me, oh my God. You see what happens when you're about to say something. That happens to me when I'm about to say something really powerful that is living inside my body, but I haven't said it out loud. My voice literally like went away. These are the kind of self-awareness practices that we need to help us connect when our bodies and our minds are out of communication. So I did a lot of that in this process because I was like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. Take a deep breath and chill and just think of this as a blessing, because it's a lot of work to show up in a way so publicly, so vulnerably, and constantly be hitting roadblocks against like reaching the people you actually want to work with. Like I was already having a hard time locating and connecting with my people, you know, people who are here, who like what I'm doing, who support what I'm doing, who want to do what I'm doing, who are interested in embodying their truth, in living their truth, speaking their truth, just being able to be who you are in the world authentically without apologies. That's the journey I'm on. And it's been quite a journey, you know, but I haven't done it alone. I've done it amongst a loving community, and that community was quickly and seemingly taken from me overnight. Literally. Like one day it was there and one day it wasn't. So it's a bit of grief, you know, it's a bit of grief. Mostly because I'm not interested in starting over on that platform. So anyone who like followed me and hasn't connected with me on a level where they could find me somehow, they could look me up, they know my name, they know how to find me, like, then we weren't meant to work together. You know, we weren't meant to connect. I really am truly like just trusting that the work that I've done has spoken for itself to the point that this is what needed to happen. This is like a security blanket for me that I was desperately holding on to, because it's the only thing I've known really, you know, as a business owner, at least I would say. Businesses in general have changed the way that they work, the way that, you know, a lot of things have gone online. Now things are coming back in person, and that's really what I'm interested in, is meeting up with my people in person. I call y'all my people because you are the ones who show up for me. You are the ones that I feel called to show up for. To show you like, this is not the end. Anytime something ends, it's a means for a new beginning. Things have to close before, so they can open. And knowing that, I've really, really intentionally been releasing. I cannot tell you how many ways that I have been releasing. And these are things that I want to share. I want to do like rituals together in person. So stay connected is what I'm saying. I'm here to tell you, like, stay connected. If you want to hang out with me, if you want to get on this level of energy, if you want to get deep and intimate into each other's stories, into each other's frequencies, you're gonna want to find me here on YouTube. I'm starting to experiment with videos and shorts and having a lot of fun with that. So yeah, just exploring all kinds of different ways to stay connected on different media platforms. I just want to talk to y'all. Like, I'm tired of these freaking barriers and all these excuses for like not being able to connect, you know? I'm at a point in my own personal work where I'm like, I have something to say and I need to be able to say it. The thing about the Instagram and the Facebook thing is that they are using technology to catch predatory behavior and scammers and things like that, but it's overwhelming, I'm sure. And so I know they're not able to personally, you know, pick every single situation apart, but they made their decision and it sucks, but I also feel like this is a push I needed in my life and in my work to cut a lot of cords that I've been holding on to around my capacity to serve, about who I'm meant to serve, and about what it looks like for me to be compensated fairly for the energy that I put out into the world, whether it's through a platform or whether it's in person. And I'm really interested in doing this in person because it's a lot different than talking to a screen. But it's what we have right now, and I'm really just trying to make the best of it. 3 tips for how to make the best of this situation if it ever happens to you. I'm grateful that I had the foresight to back up my content. For years, I've been basically like just copy and pasting my captions into another place. Your choice, you know, where you want to, how you want to organize that, but just gleaning all the captions, as much content as possible, and just keep a backup of everything, because Facebook at least gave me the option of like downloading my content. So I was able to pull everything from when I started my Facebook when I was in college, which I appreciated. It was a lot of info. It was a lot of data. It took up a lot of space on my computer, to be honest. But that shows you how long I've been on the internet sharing my life. You know, there's some people who do that and there's some people who don't. And I've always been someone who poured my heart out for others to see. And Instagram kind of like made it easier for me to hide. And I don't want to hide anymore. So like I said, for me, it's been like a blessing in disguise. And I also want to say that some of you may or may not know that I am like getting even more obsessed with astrology lately. Take a water break if you are thirsty, because I am. I'm really feeling these bangs today. So funny story, really quick. All of Mercury retrograde, I was like, oh my God, I sound like such a valley girl. I'm like, all of Mercury retrograde, I was like, it's even more important, I feel like, to like stop, slow down, and think like, did I drink water today? Is my mouth feeling dry? Yes. Okay, so what I was saying is that to back up any info you have as often as possible. So whether that's like every season, every quarter, every other month, like however you want to do that, I just highly suggest that you don't commit your content, you're not let them get away with keeping your intellectual property, okay? Now that I've been collecting my captions and things that I've written and poured my heart out into via writing on Instagram, I have a Google document in my Google Drive that's like thousands of pages long. And I know that I can make something great out of it when the time comes. But that's my number one tip to you. Imagine if I have that much content in a Google Doc or in another app that is holding that for me. Imagine how much I have that I've never shared. And so thinking about these things has really shifted my mindset around how and where I share my work. It's like I said, like I don't want to be accessible to everyone. I want to be accessible to people who value and take seriously the things that I'm talking about, who really are concerned with doing the work with me. You know, I'm not here for everyone. And I could give a shit. Like, if the people who are not down for me, like, it doesn't faze me. I'm not really interested. I don't really care. So that's part of why I'm here, because I've been wanting to grow this platform as well. And it's been different because I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, because I'm learning new things, because I'm researching again and developing and masterminding and planning. It's exciting, you know, it's a fresh start. It's like moving to a new city and being able to just start over and be whoever the fuck you want to be. And I don't want to say that I didn't feel like I could be myself, but I feel like it was hard for people who've been with me for a long time to see my transition and not knowing like how to feel about it. Because I've always been very upfront about who I am and what I believe in and what's important to me. But as I started to transition more into expressing myself in a more sensual way, it seems like there's a difference. There's a shift happening. And it has everything to do with this whole thing. Like I said, I have been looking for spaces to express myself authentically, where I don't have to wear a mask, where I don't have to put up a front, where I don't have to code switch and change my voice and sit a certain way and dress a certain way. You know, I don't feel good when I'm forced to not be myself. Especially because I'm doing this self-development work, because I'm working through embodiment and really learning, like, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like for me to show up as myself? Not as who I think people want to see. The people who want to stay connected have found a way to reach out. Like, I'm a guide, but I'm on the path too, you know? And I know that the people that I'm meant to work with will hear me say that and know, like, okay, like we're in this together, you know? Like, we can do this. Because I'm actively living it. The difference about my abilities, my gift, is being able to articulate it in a way that people understand. You guys might notice I talk a little slow. And part of the reason that is because I have a jaw limitations in my jaw due to TMJ and just really not being able to open my mouth very wide. It's a regulatory practice for me to speak slowly because I don't want to rush and just blurt out whatever comes to mind. I'm very intentional with the words that I use. But being intentional for me means slowing down, because I can't be intentional if I'm not in my body, if I'm not thinking and moving from a heart space, if I'm just an autopilot or just, you know, going through a routine or rushing like I often am. So it's a full body practice, and that's why it's called embodiment. It's about embodying, like, really, a lot of us are so disconnected from who we think we are based on what people tell us about who we are or what we should be, who we actually are, and then how we embody that. And so it's conflicting. Sometimes, like, in our head, we're like, I'm the baddest bitch in this place, you know? I'm fucking, like, I feel amazing. I feel great. But then my body's like not reflecting that. You know, I'm slouching or sulking or like feeling insecure. My body's like closed off, you know? Like, sometimes that happens. And that's because of the disconnection. So now that I'm aware of it, right, now that I'm talking about it, I feel like, oh yeah, what a difference it makes in my heart space when my shoulders are back. But that's vulnerable, right? Exposing our hearts is vulnerable. It's painful because if we expose our hearts and they are rejected or they're treated poorly or they're let down, you know. There's so many things that could break someone's heart. Maybe there's a ton of grief that could really break someone. You'll notice that I have like a certain cadence to the way that I talk. Sometimes I'm very intentional, and sometimes things are just coming through as they do. So I wanted to share that with y'all. I wanted to say what's up. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Danelia. I recently changed my public name to Dane Reál. So check that out. I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about why the name change, what's going on. And it's really part of this rebirth that I'm experiencing, as this one chapter is now closed. I'm moving on to a new chapter, to a new school, if you will. And I think that I'm just really excited to see where it takes me, and to connect with y'all, and to get to know you better, and for you to get to know me better, and to really grow another successful online community, and just inspire y'all and keep myself accountable in expressing my authentic self and being my true self as often as possible. So with that, I will leave you with those 3 suggestions and tips, and I hope to see you in another video in the very near future, or for you to see me in a video. All right, see you later. Bye.